What's up, B-side? Y'all in the house? All right. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, up. Black girls work and black girls cry. Black girls step out looking fly. Black girls take care of themselves, but that don't mean they don't need no one else. Black girls smoke and black girls drink. Black girls eat healthy, look pretty in pink. Some boys say black girls are too much pain, but don't they love you through your mind and brain? So don't be afraid of the black girl. Can a girl catch a break? Don't be intimidated. Can a girl catch a break? Now I don't know if the outside world can hear you, but y'all can sing the chorus with me next time it comes around. It's gonna be like that. Black girls cook and black girls clean. Black girls got style, be looking mean. Black girls doctor and black girls shout, 'cause if you trip, you know they'll cuss you out. Black girls party, some are a hot mess, but when they need to, they'll get down to business. Black girls got power, body and soul. They'll put it on you, make you beg for more, but don't be afraid of the black girl. Y'all ready? Can a girl catch a break? Here you go. Don't be intimidated. Can a girl catch a break? Black girls rock and black girls roll. Black girls funk and black girls soul. Black girls jazz and black girls folk. They sing so lovely and it ain't no joke. Black girls write and black girls play. Black girls strap on and make their guitar sing. Black girls got fire, make you believe that black girl magic, it will set you free. So don't be afraid of the black girl. Can a girl catch a break? Don't be intimidated. Can a girl catch a break? Don't be intimidated. Can a girl catch a break? Don't be intimidated. Can a girl catch a break? Come on, Leon.
Oh, come on. Y'all can do better than that. Y'all can do better than that. Wait, y'all know the chorus? Y'all know the chorus? What's the chorus? What's the chorus? What's the chorus? I don't hear any chorus. Oh, okay. I just wanted to see y'all were paying attention. She has sung alongside some of music's most respected names. And tonight, Shelley Nicole and her musical collective, blaKbüshe, have come here to guide us into a realm of renewal that's full of self-love, self-care, and self-determination. This is B-Side, and I'm your host, T.I.S. Smart Young, and we're going to get right into it. So welcome, Shelley Nicole and blaKbüshe.
Hey.
Before you introduce the band, please tell me about my new girl anthem. Everybody's anthem in here, okay? Tell me about what inspired that song.
Yeah, I wrote that song a while ago, but really for all of my friends, all of my black
For me?
girlfriends.
Okay.
For you, yes, because you're my friend and you're my black girlfriend. But yeah, I know so many like awesome musicians, actors, singers, everybody who's just out here on the hustle. And I was just like, we just need a break. And that was really just what it came from, just looking around and seeing all the wonderful work that me and my friends are doing and just feeling like we need a little shine.
Okay, but what about that line, don't be intimidated? Are they intimidated? Are they scared of us?
Yeah,
Are they scared of our magic?
absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think that, I think the sisters get a bit of a bad rap, right? We get a little bit of when we walk in the room, people sort of, we're like, uh-oh, what's going to happen? So people do get a little intimidated, but, I mean, you should be, but don't be.
Okay. I like that. I'm going to steal that. So introduce me to the band.
Yes. My brother has been with me. My brother, Shawn on percussion.
Okay.
Yes, give him some love.
Give him some love. Hey, Shawn.
And my brother Dave Pilgrim, he's sitting in with us tonight. But I love him, Dave Pilgrim on bass.
All right, Dave.
And Matsu, my brother Matsu, who I always say, yeah, we met like just down the street when I played at BAM. Like, I can't even believe it's almost been like 10 years now. Crazy. But Matsu on drums. And my first baby daddy.
Who that is?
That's my musical baby daddy, #1. I got about 4. But since he's #1, he can like check out the rest. You know how that goes. Anyway, Jerome Jordan. You know how it goes. Jerome Jordan on guitar. Like it's the first wife always gets. You know what I'm saying. And my brother Leon Grunbaum on keys, and that's my brother from Burt Sugar. So I'm so excited to have Leon with us on keys tonight. So Leon Grunbaum on keys. And of course, the man, the myth, the legend, the dark man, the only man, the Superman, V. Jeffrey Smith on saxophone.
Okay. Welcome, everyone. Welcome. Okay, so set us up for the next song. What are we about to hear?
Oh my goodness.
The next two songs.
It's kind of, the next 2 songs. So the next song almost is kind of in the same vein as the first song. The next song is Box. And the reason that came about was because I also know a lot of sisters that are not doing what they think sisters should do. So like my friend Tamar Kali, she does punk rock, you know what I mean? And so that's not in the box that they think that black women are gonna do. So I wrote this song called Box about taking us out of the box, taking me out of the box. And then also, Punani Politics.
My favorite.
Punani Politics, which is what we'll do after. And
all right.
Okay. Yeah, Punani Politics. That's going to speak for itself.
You will have time to get into that with me after the break. So let's hear Box.
Okay, awesome. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, up. Can only see things one way, and you want me to do it your way. My eyes are not blue, so you expect a certain groove, but you came to see me, so I'm doing it my way. You're not gonna box me in. You're not gonna shut me out. You're not gonna make me bend. You're not gonna box me in. love is the key, so I'm spreading it my way. You're not gonna box me in. You're not gonna shut me out. You're not gonna make me bend. You're not gonna box me in. I'm just a black girl out here trying to win. You see me, but you don't know where to begin. For some reason, you just can't figure it out. Love Eminem, JT with no doubt. Robin Thicke, Jock Stone seem cool to you. But Bad Brains, Fishbone can't break through. You're not gonna, 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 you're not gonna box me in. You're not gonna shut me out. You're not gonna make me bend. You're not gonna box me. You're not gonna box me. You're not gonna box me. You're not gonna break me. You're not gonna box me. You're not gonna shut me. You're not gonna break me. You're not gonna box me. You're not gonna break me. You're not gonna break me. You're not, you're not, you're not, you're not. You're not gonna do it. You're not gonna do it. You're not gonna do it. Now get my phone. So we're doing a little Punani Politics remix. For those of you who have actually heard Punani Politics, you'll hear that it's a little bit of a remix. I know it feels nice when you give me the juice. I know it feels nice when you give me the juice. I know it feels nice when you give me the juice. I know it feels nice when you give me the juice. I know it feels nice when you give me the juice. I know it feels nice when you give me the juice. I know it feels nice when you give me the juice. Stop playing politics with my punani. Stop playing politics with my punani. Hey, Republicans. I see you called on your fellow man. All dicks and no nuts. And you rush to call me a slut? I'm standing up for what is mine. Call me the rib, but I'm really the spine of this whole great nation. Ain't gonna put me back on the plantation. No, stop playing politics with my punani. Stop playing politics with my punani. Don't see me out here trying to legislate. Where you stick your Johnson, though, I'd have a case. Using it for some ill. Then you call some rape legitimate. Say what? I'm not a hotbed for breeding. Just something that you can plant your seed in. I know it feels nice when you give me the juice, but you hate how I reproduce. Oh, hell no. Stop playing politics in my punani. Stop playing politics in my punani. You say abortion is a license to kill. Say right to life, wanna ban the pill. But got no problem with lethal injection. But hey, hey, hold up, ain't that killing? I'm not just here for your games and fun. Hey yo, back up off my nana, son. As if I don't have a right mind. I decide what to do with my drums. Come on. Hey. And we're coming back. Come on. You flip flop, you flop flip. All in all, it's just bullshit. Put your agenda on the back of my sex. Goddess only knows what'll happen next. You wanna feel it and touch it, but then you turn and act disgusted, as if I don't have a right mind. I decide what to do with mine. 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 I decide what to do with mine right on time. I decide what to do with mine. 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 Stop playing politics in my punani.
Don't have a
I had a little backup.
Don't have a wardrobe.
I know my parents might be watching.
We thank you for not having a wardrobe malfunction. So before we were getting ready to talk about it, but now was there a specific piece of legislation, a news story that pissed you off that said, you know what?
Yeah, it was two things. It was when Rush Limbaugh had called this young woman a slut. She was a Georgetown law student, I believe, and she was advocating for the Georgetown healthcare system for the students to cover birth control. And so she was doing that, just exercising her rights.
Right.
And he calls her slut on his show. That was first, and then it was the big one. Really, it was I think Senator Todd Akin. I don't think he's a senator anymore, congressman, whatever for him. But he was talking about legitimate rape.
Okay.
And saying that saying that if a woman, I guess, is assaulted, well, I don't even know how he's putting it, but if you have sex with a woman and she doesn't get pregnant, then it wasn't legitimate rape, whatever. But I was like, so then I was like, okay, here we go, time to write about these punani politics.
And we thank you for that.
Because I feel like, I just feel like all the time when things start to go a little haywire in government, like when they don't have a footing, then they start to look at like, well, what can we do to these women?
Right.
And how can we shift this narrative so they'll talk about, people will talk about that and not really what's happening over here. A little wag the dog a little bit.
No, we appreciate that because I think you've said in all of the lyrics of that song what we talk about as girlfriends in conversation. Yeah. And now with putting you in a box, because we're scared to do that, because we see what happens. Now, I know having a rock, soul, funk influence, and that may not fit that picture of what people are thinking. What has been the response, or what have you seen? How have people responded to you?
Actually, the response to me has been great. Okay. Like, I haven't necessarily run into people, at least not yet, who are sort of like, I don't know. But what does happen to me is that when I tell people that I'm a singer, the first thing they always say to me is, "Oh, you sing jazz?" And I'm like, I can sing jazz. I have sung jazz, but that's not, my main thing. But they go there, or they just go, oh, R&B. Oh, so who do you sound like? You like, what do you do, like Mary J. Blige? I'm like, no, I'm not really doing that. But love Mary, you know what I'm saying? But it's kind of like just where people go immediately when they start. And then, I get a few cracked faces sometimes when I start the show. Like, oh, shit. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, that's what's going to happen? Okay. Yeah, so. But I'm good with that,
Do you like surprising people?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm a theater girl, so surprise.
Okay.
Yes.
And what's up next for us? What next? What's the next song we're
The
going
next
to hear?
song up, I'm gonna cheat a little. Oh yeah. So I have a forthcoming album coming out called I Am American.
Yes.
And so we're going to do I Am American.
It's coming out this summer?
It's coming out this summer.
Okay, we're getting ready, y'all.
We're getting ready.
All right.
As you say, we ready.
We ready.
Died here, sacrificed here, so we could be free. Try to disrespect me, demonize, disgrace me. Take a second look, see, the truth is right here. Curse and disregard me, but like the phoenix I keep on rising, rising. I am part of the fabric of this land. Changing, a way is clearing, the paradigm is shifting. Make no mistake, feel the magic moving, a new voice we're choosing. Ain't no way we're losing. No, tide is turning, feel the flow. New day dawning, oh my Lord. Fight ain't over, but we're one step closer to the goal. My contribution is wide, and it cannot be denied. Can't ignore me because I am American. Too much blood under my feet. I am American. Too much blood under my feet. I picked your cotton till the land. Fought your wars, took care of your man. Washed your clothes and foot your bills. Healed your body when you was ill. Gave you light so you could see. Opened your heart so you could feel. Fashioned a board so you could iron. I fed your kids when you was tired. Snuck away so I could read. Gave you strength in time of need. Through many dangers, toils and snares. You tried to hold me down, I stand. Just like it's your land, it's my land. Because I am American. Too much blood under my feet. I am American. Too much blood under my feet. I am American. Too much blood under my feet. I am American. Too much blood under my feet. I am American. Too much blood under my feet. Y'all can clap. Y'all can clap if you want to. I am American. Too much blood under my feet. I am American. Too much blood under my feet. I am American. Too much blood under my feet. I am American. Too much blood under my feet.
catch your breath, get a sip of water.
Because we need a towel up in this piece.
You do. You've been working hard. I want to take it back a little bit because you grew up singing in the church.
I did.
So talk to us a little bit about that because I want to know, how does someone who grew up singing in the church, in the choir, end up singing the music that you sing?
Well, yes, I sang in church, but I also was a black girl who grew up in the suburbs of Boston. So there was a lot of rock and roll around. You know, I grew up in a household of jazz and classical. I grew up in I had friends, who listened to, Van Halen and the Police and the Who and all those kind of things. So I got like a real mashup of music. It wasn't just music on Sunday. And I didn't come from like a strict religious household, so it wasn't like Marvin Gaye wasn't rolling in the crib,
Right.
right next to Mahalia, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So there was, lots of music that was in the household.
But how did you end up finding your voice?
That's really good. I mean, like I said, I was a theater girl. Like, sometimes it still surprises me that singing is sort of in the forefront of my life because I was really a theater girl. So, I think I've done so many different kind of things. Like I've done musicals and all kind of things. But when I came to New York, I had the pleasure, the honor of falling into a community of people that were black rockers. Like they were just, Shawn knows, like it was just a whole community of folks. Like I just walk in the door and it's like, oh shoot, y'all doing this? And that's kind of where I landed. And when I started singing here in New York, I was singing with people who were rocking. So like I mentioned, Tamar Kali, I sang with a woman named Remy Leku. I sang with a woman named Elon Robin Dixon, and everybody was really different and not in a box at all. So that was my real training ground in terms of sort of finding my way and what I wanted to do. To that day I rolled up on Jerome and was like, hey, I think I got a song, and went on from there.
Did you feel like when you arrived in New York that you automatically found your people, or did you have kind of like your people when you were in Massachusetts, and then this was just like another great part of it?
Oh no, I was born and raised in Massachusetts, but I grew up in New York.
Okay.
Like New York is where I found my tribe of people. And coming here, I had no idea what I was gonna find here. I mean, I came here on an internship at Vibe magazine.
Yes, you
so
have to know that too.
Yeah, and from that internship is where I got my first singing gig, because the woman who was the temp secretary, we just struck up a conversation. She said she had a band, and she said, well, come sing with me. I was like, well, you don't even know I can sing. She said, you said you can sing.
You better not disappoint
right,
me.
exactly, right? So, she trusted me, and it went on from there. And then I just, I met Greg Tate, who was one of the founders of Black Rock Coalition. He was my first professional interview as a journalist. I interviewed Greg Tate. And then, I always say he turned me out, meaning like he took me to Tramps and took me to CBGB's and all these other places, and that's where I was like, oh, who are these black people? So, yeah.
Were you at all intimidated about coming to New York? Or were you worried because?
Oh no, I wanted to be here from like forever. I wanted to go to college here,
okay.
But I didn't get
NYU,
into
yes.
my school of choice.
Let's talk about that a little bit. NYU.
Yes, I wanted to go to NYU. They didn't let a girl in, but it's okay, because sometimes I think if I'd have been here at that time, I might not be here today.
Right. Everything happens in divine order, right?
Exactly. So I ended up at Ohio State, but yeah, go Bucks. But yeah, I always wanted to come to New York. So as soon as I was given that, opportunity to have that internship here in New York, I was like, oh yeah, I'm on my way. And it wasn't paying, back in the day. Well, shoot, today, right? They were,
exactly.
It wasn't paying. So I came and I worked at Tower Records, and yeah, Tower Records, rest in peace, right?
You're bringing us all back
I know,
right?
right? Tower Records in Lincoln Square, Lincoln Center. Come on, man. Good times. Yeah, 66th Street, you know it.
Wait,
Yeah.
what was the name of the sisters band?
The original band that I sang in?
From, what you call it, that you met at Vibe?
Oh, well, she just went by Elon.
Okay.
Yeah, sometimes her band was called Oleo. Sometimes she was just Robin Dixon. It just, depends on where you are at the moment. But yeah, her name was Robin Dixon, Elon Robin Dixon.
Okay, and what did you learn by performing? Because I'm assuming that was like, you had a schedule, like here's some shows, and I'm gonna have to rehearse and get prepared, and how did you feel about all that?
You know what, I don't know if New York is really like that on the underground. Like, I don't know if people have strings of shows. It's
Okay.
like, we have a show.
Okay.
Get yourself together. So yeah, I mean, she used to live on 14th Street, and I was like in a 5-floor walk-up, and real old school tenement style railroad apartment, and it was a great training ground. Like I never really imagined. I had no idea really what coming to New York was going to be. I just knew that I wanted to be here. Okay. And I just knew, Vibe had given me the opportunity, and Tower Records gave me the opportunity to be here. And I just soaked up everything. Like anytime somebody was like, yeah, Shelley, come sing with me, come do this. I'm like, yep, I did it. And those 3 women, Robin, Tamar, and Remy, like they're in my heart forever, because really they were my training ground. And being able to see them front their bands, have all these men playing behind them, and really command. And I'm like, oh, okay. And that's priceless, really. Okay. Yeah.
Well, I know the crowd is ready for some more music, so set us up for the next song. Take your sip.
Yeah. So I guess we're getting to the personal power portion of the evening. We're going to do a tune called In Your View.
Okay.
All right.
Chains of mine, no mediocrity. Now is your time. Walk through the fear, don't let it stop you. No matter the size of the task, the universe has got you. Keep on rolling, and keep on riding, keep on doing what you do, and keep on pushing, and keep on shining. You got the whole world in your view.
Wait a minute, I just found out that we're not done. We need to ask you some more questions.
Oh,
Hold
alrighty.
on, let me ask you a few more questions because we got the whole world in your view. Okay, so let's take me back to the inspiration behind that.
Yeah. So I'm a pseudo-Buddhist.
Okay.
And
Thank you for telling us. I didn't know that.
what that means is, you know, like I can't like give you a whole bunch of Buddha, but I got a little bit of Buddha.
Okay.
So, but I meditate a lot every day, and I go to I'm in a sangha in a community, meditation community. So one of the things that the Buddha does say, and it's paraphrased, of course, is that as long as you have breath, you have a chance to do it again. So sometimes we think, you know, we've made all kind of mistakes and we can't start all over again. We've done whatever we're going to do with our life. But the real deal is that if you wake up,
Okay.
you can start over. So that's why the song starts with every moment is a chance to do it all again. Because every moment is a chance to do it all again.
Each day.
As soon as you walk out this door, you can start all over again.
Right.
You don't have to wait until you get up in the morning to do it all again.
How did you get into Buddhism?
Pseudo-Buddhism.
Pseudo-Buddhism. Did living in New York do that to you?
No, life did that to me. I had an experience where I was, you know, at a point, you know, you reach kind of that point of like, I have to do something different or I'm not going to make it, you know?
Okay.
So I ran into a friend who had went on People of Color silent retreat. It was a 3-day silent retreat. And I had never done anything like that in my life.
Wait, so no speaking
No
for
speaking
the
for
entire
3 days.
3 days.
Yes.
Okay.
Fabulous.
I would have never made it. Okay. Go ahead.
You know, the thing is, it's easy to close your mouth. It's hard to close your mind.
Okay.
And that's where people start to like be like, oh my goodness, you know. But at that moment in my life, I needed 3 days of silence. I needed it. And so she told me about it, and it was free, you know, and I was like, okay, I'm going to go give it a shot. So that was like my first, I mean, I kind of went in kind of hard, right? That's like a first introduction to meditation. Like, you go sit for 3 days.
That's not like the day one.
No,
you just went all the way to day 25.
I went to day 25. But you know, you have moments. You have that sometimes those things in your life, and it's like you either need to make a hard turn or you're not going to come back.
Okay.
So that was my hard turn. And it was a real turning point in my life, like a real turning point. I met, funny enough, because we're silent, but before we went silent, I met some folks that like turned out to be in my life for the rest of my life. So it was a real, you know, big moment in my life. But yeah, that's how I started meditating, and yeah.
And did that being quiet, did that help you creatively, or how did it help you creatively?
I think being quiet just helped me to find compassion. Like, it helped me to find compassion for people. It helped me to be able to more easily, you know, step into somebody else's shoes, to look at, and not just quickly be like, oh, this person, just write them off.
Okay.
But just kind of rethink and be like, okay, why, this person is acting this way for a reason. And what is that reason? And it probably has nothing to do with me. But it takes time. Like, it's not like, you know, my 3 days in and I came out like, whoa, no.
Right.
And it's still a practice. It's still a practice. It's still a practice that I do every day. And it still gets me through. So,
okay.
yeah.
And we appreciate that. And
Thank you.
I think it definitely influences the music, because tell me if you have more clarity now. Yes?
Yeah, I mean, I think just thinking about In Your View, yeah, I think it's something that maybe at a time I wouldn't have thought to write about. So yeah, I think it's, I don't know if it's clarity so much as, or direction, just like sort of another way of thinking about things and how to put that into music and keep it funky.
Okay.
At the same time, you know what I mean? I think that's important. I used to always say to myself, like when I would go sit at my People of Color sits, and I'd be like, this is really nice, but we need some music to go with this. So maybe that's what I'm here for.
Now tell me a little bit, does your family, are they into your music, and are they okay with Punani politics?
Oh, yeah. I come from a very politically active family. So I come from folks that were like civil rights movement people, Black Power movement people.
Okay.
So yeah, they're easy with it. And like I said, or I have said, I'm a unicorn. I'm the unicorn of the family. So they know I'm not coming out with anything that's going to be too straight down the middle. They know better than that by now.
For your album, I Am American, you linked up with the legendary Vernon Reid of In Living Color.
Yeah.
How did you make that happen?
Well, okay. I had known Vernon for a little bit before that, and Vernon actually, as I was saying about Leon at the top, we were in a band, actually me, Jeff, and Leon are in a band called Burnt Sugar together. And Vernon had come and conducted a show of Steely Dan music that the band did that we eventually took to Paris to play at a festival out there. And I was so sick, like I was sick as a dog going to Paris on that trip. And I was just praying like, girl, just get to the show, do the best you can. But something happened. I mean, we got through the show, and after the show, like right following, he just came, came up right next to me walking down the hallway, and he was like, "You're next." I'm like,
what does that
to
mean?
do what? Right, exactly. And he said to conduct this band, speaking of Burnt Sugar. But there was something, so later on when I was looking for a producer, I just remembered that moment, and I was just like, maybe I should ask Vernon, because clearly he saw something in me in that moment when I wasn't thinking I was feeling or doing my best.
Doing your best.
Right. So I called, and I had my, scroll ready of reasons, like, I want you to do this, but here's why. But I just asked him, and he was like, and he said to me, yeah, I'm gonna do it, and here's why. Like, he told me why.
Okay.
So I just knew that that was a real serendipitous moment, and yeah, it sometimes.
And what was his reason? Why did he say, and here's why? Here's why I'm gonna do it for you. Here's what I see in you.
I'm trying to really remember, because I think I sort of like blanked out. When people say yes, you're like, what?
Right, you didn't expect that. You were ready to. You were ready to try to convince him.
Wah, 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 wah. But it's true though, Come on. But I mean, I will say things that he has said to me since. Which,
okay. That'll work.
Yeah. One thing he talked about, which I thought was interesting, was my sense of rhythm. Mm-hmm. And I was like, that's an interesting thing to note. But I think that was one of the reasons why he thought I could conduct Burnt Sugar. He just talked about, my presence, like my stage presence and performance, songwriting and vocal ability. And I think, we were cool. And so, for those of you who don't know, if you're gonna have somebody produce you, production, like your producer, is a real intimate experience. Like you have to like that person, because if you don't, it can go sideways real fast.
It's like a marriage, huh?
Yeah, exactly. And so, I respected him and he respected me, and I think that made for a real, an easy work experience. And he, and I let him do his job. Okay. And I think that's hard too. Like I've been, my first 2 records I co-produced with folks, but I had my hand like really on. Okay. So I said, if I'm gonna have Vernon Reid produce the record, I'm gonna let him do it.
A little bit.
Yeah, and not that I didn't have any say, and not that he didn't give me any say, but I also let him have his creativity and use his imagination for what he heard for the music, because we've been doing these songs for a long time, some of them, for a long time.
Well, I love that answer. Thank you.
Thank you.
So set us up with your second to last song right now.
Oh, our second to last song. Okay, so then we're gonna do Long Train then. Oh, yeah. So yeah, we're gonna do it, because she said second to last, so we're gonna do it.
Lots of remixes.
Yeah, so Long Train, it's the Doobie Brothers. It's the Doobie Brothers pre-Michael McDonald. Know your doobies.
All right.
Down around 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, out. Keep on moving. Keep on moving. Keep on moving. Baby, baby, baby. Don't get on down. Don't get on down. Don't get on down. Don't get, don't get, don't get. Don't keep on moving. Don't keep on moving. Don't keep on moving. Baby, baby, baby. Don't get on down. Don't get on down. Don't get on down. Without love.
All right. Come on, Brooklyn. Give us some more love. Give us some more love. Because we are about to wrap it up, so she's going to need all the love so we can, get out of here on the right note. What was your favorite song? Any favorites? Any favorites? Punani Politics. Anyone else?
That
Anyone
you get
else?
a condom.
Oh, she got condoms, y'all. Who else needs some condoms in here? Say your, sorry. say your favorite song. so you
Saving
can get a
lives.
condom. Wait, you have any more?
Yeah, they're out front.
Oh, they out front. Okay,
outside. Yeah, you
okay.
can catch me
So we
outside.
got merchandise outside. We got condoms outside.
That one right there.
Which one was your favorite? Which one was your favorite?
Well, I love them all, but that
Okay.
one right there is just the way she
Without Love.
yeah,
Oh.
the way she brings it, the way
All
she
right.
owns that song.
Well-
Gladys Knight's that song.
Well, thank you for that. All right, no pits. All right. Well, thank you, Shelley Nicole's blaKbüshe, for musically affirming our sense of self. Be sure to pick up her single, Punani Politics, wherever you buy or stream music. And look out for her new album, I Am American, coming out this summer. You can also keep up with Shelley Nicole's blaKbüshe on Instagram at blaKbüshe and Team blaKbüshe. I'm Tiaya Smart Young, and I hope you guys had a really good time tonight. I know you did. Be sure to stop by our BRIC House studio every Thursday to hear more of the best music that Brooklyn has to offer. You can also check out tonight's installment and past episodes anytime at youtube.com/BRICTV or check out BRIC Radio podcast, this episode of the BRIC Radio podcast, everywhere you listen to podcasts. Okay, Shelley Nicole, blaKbüshe, take us out of here with one more song right after this.
You say life has got you down. Can't see nothing clearly spinning round. You feel like you're going crazy. Body broken, battered, so you think, baby, life ain't worth the living. Too much working, the forgiving. When you recognize you're on the ground, you can get up, you can get up, you recognize you're on the ground. You can get up, you can get up. Oh, you're slipping deeper into the darkness. You feel you won't come back. There's an answer to this madness. There's a solution, and that's a fact. Grab the hand of your sister, of your brother. Trust and know they got your back. When you recognize you're on the ground, you get up, you get up, you recognize you're on the ground. You get up, you get up, you recognize you're on the ground. You get up, you get up, you recognize you're on the ground. y'all clapping. Child, I know you're tired thinking you ain't got no more. Can you open up your eyes? See there's power on the floor. And child, I know you're tired thinking you ain't got no more. Can you open up your eyes? See there's power on the floor. And child, I know you're tired thinking you ain't got no more. Can you open up your eyes? See there's power on the floor. And child, I know you're tired thinking you ain't got no more. Can you open up your eyes? See there's power on the floor. Power on the floor. Power on the floor. You recognize you're on the ground. You get up. You get up. You recognize you're on the ground. You get up. You get up. You recognize you're on the ground. You get up. You get up. You recognize you're on the ground. You get up. You get up. So I'm just gonna talk to y'all real quick before I leave you. Yeah, that's B. Jeffrey Smith. I just want you to understand what power on the floor is talking about. I just want you to understand real quick, because I know we don't have a lot of time. So power on the floor is recognizing, it's about being present. It's about being present. Because sometimes we have a lot of things going on, there's a lot of drama happening, and then we keep wondering, why these things keep happening? Why I keep getting down, da-da-da-da-da. But sometimes some of us like drama. So when we're in that drama, we don't really know we're down. So we don't have the real power to get up. But when you have the presence of mind, when you recognize, when you can see yourself on the ground, guess what? You can look up and you can get up. If you change your mind, you change your life. Guess what? You can get up. Ha. Hear me. If you change your mind, you change your life. Guess what? You can get up. Just like I said, if you have breath, you can get up. If you have another day, you can get up. You can see another way, then you can get up. Guess what? You can get up. Ha ha. Get up. 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 Oh. 1, 2. If you recognize you're on the ground, you get up. You get up. You recognize you're on the ground. You get up. You get up.